Hello everyone and welcome to Mason High School CAAC Red Women's Basketball on MHSAA.com. The Mason Bulldogs playing host to the Williamston Hornets. I'm Colton Wesley. We're about to get ready to get this one underway. We will step aside for national anthem and starting lineups. You are watching Mason Women's Basketball on MasonSN.com.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Mason High School for this varsity basketball matchup between the visitors, the Hornets of Williamston, and your Mason Bulldogs. We are indeed fortunate and blessed to share a heritage of democracy that has spanned more than 240 years. Please join our athletes and coaches in honoring America, celebrating its freedom, and those who protect it. I direct your attention to the West Wall Field House, and as the Jubilees rise for the playing of our national anthem. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's meet our starting lineups for tonight's game. For the Hornets, set forward, number 0, Ty Dillingham. For the Bulldogs, at guard, a sophomore, number 2, Ciega Maya. For the Hornets, at guard, a senior number 3, Jaden Griffith. For the Bulldogs, at forward, a senior number 10, Grace O'Grady. For the Hornets, at guard, a senior number 10, Anna Judith. For the Bulldogs, at guard, a senior number 11, Ava Rester. For the Hornets, at guard, a sophomore, number 24, Abby Moran. For the Bulldogs, at guard, a junior number 15, Josie Ryder. For the Hornets, at forward, a junior number 33, Madison Bush. For the Bulldogs, at forward, a senior number 24, Jocelyn Shannon. The Hornets are coached by Pete Poole, assisted by Dory Williams and Brent Erickson. The Bulldogs are coached by Scott Shannon, assisted by David Martin.
All right, here we go. CAAC Red Basketball on MasonSN.com. The Mason Bulldogs playing host to the Williamston Hornets. These two teams met back in December. Williamston won that game 47-23. Mason, they were on a 5-game losing streak until their last game, a 50-17 win over Eastern. They're going to try to keep this ship righted, coming into tonight 3-8. Both teams chasing Hazlitt at the top of the CAAC Red. Starting lineups for Williamston: Kai Dillingham, Jaden Griffith, Anna Judith, Abby Brennan, And Madison Bush for Mason, Ciela Amaya, Grace O'Berry, Ava Ruster, Josie Later, and Jocelyn Shattuck. We have the tip and we are underway. Williamston in the green and black, moving right to left across your screen. Mason in the all white. Abby Brannon, one of the leading three-point shooters in the conference, has 14 this year. They're going to work it down low, back outside for Judith. Anna Judith, three-pointer no good. Rebound tipped out to Brannon. Back inside Judith. Passes knocked away. Loose ball picked up by Jaden Griffith, who takes it in and scores. Jaden Griffith, the senior, 8 rebounds, 3.5 steals. A defensive menace for the Hornets and someone that the Bulldogs are going to need to have a plan for. Grace O'Berry, back to the top. Ruster picks up the screen. O'Berry works into the corner to Shattuck. They'll work it back out to Amaya, trying to drive. Dillingham shuts the door. They're going to try again, this time with Josie Later, who goes up and knocks it in off the glass. Later had 22 against Eastern. They're going to need another big night out of her if they want to pull off the upset. Dillingham on the floor trying to pick up the ball. They're going to swing it around to Brannon, who knocks down the triple. Broken play, but the Hornets make it work. And of course, Abby Brannon, the three-point artist. Mason going to get a quick change on. Josie Later subbing out, Liza Ruster in, and something equipment related, it looks like, for Later, who's going to go to the locker room. Might be an earring or something of that nature. Liza Ruster had 6 against Eastern. Williamston 5, Mason 2, early going here in the first quarter. Shattuck at the free throw line. O'Berry thought about it, decides to drive. They're going to work it all the way back out to Shattuck and try again. Shattuck tries to drive, goes up off the glass, no good. Foul on Brannon. First foul on the sophomore. And that'll put Shattuck on the line to shoot 2. Shattuck, the senior, scored 4 against Eastern, didn't go to the free throw line in that game. Makes the first. Still no sign of Later. Shattuck splits the pair. Rebound Williamston. 6.25 to go in the first. 5-3 Hornets. The double team. Anna Judith under pressure, and they're going to win the jump ball. Ava Ruster. And oh, never mind. It's going to be a foul on Grace O'Berry. Looked from here like they won that jump ball, but referee thought O'Berry made too much contact. First foul on Mason, an opportunity for a takeaway, and they will not get. Judith will inbound. Driving with the right is Griffith all the way to the cup. Layup is no good. It rolled around the entire rim, but Griffith gets her own rebound. Back out to Brannon. Brannon trying to drive on Ruster. Puts the ball on the floor, picked up by Griffith. Judith, the senior, trying to set up the offense. Wants Brannon over the top, instead goes cross court to Dillingham. Down into the corner, Madison Bush being defended by Amaya. They're going to work it back out to the top. 5:35 to go first quarter. 5-3 the score. Under heavy pressure. Good job by Ruster to trap her against the sideline, but they find Abby Brannon, who feeds down low to Griffith, who scores. Griffith's got 4 at 7-3. Amaya. Bounce pass to Shattuck, and they're going to work it back out to Ruster. 5:10 to go in the first. 7-3. Grace O'Berry. Liza Ruster pulls up, open look at 3, no good. That was a good look, couldn't get it to go. Rebound Griffith. Once again cleaning off the boards. Tries to advance down the far side of the court. She's knocked out of bounds and fouled. It's going to be on Ava Ruster, and Josie Later has emerged from the locker room on the Mason bench. Anna Judith subbing out. Taya Fortin in the game for the Hornets. Under 5 to go in the first, 7-3. Fortin to Griffith, swinging around to Brannon near side. Brannon feeds inside to Fortin, who's driving to the lane, but it's out of bounds and it'll be Mason ball. You can mark the differences between this Williamston team and the Eastern team we saw Mason face last week. Much more complicated offensive sets, using a lot more motion to try to get people open. Defensively, straight up man-to-man. Ava Ruster tries to drive to the left, goes all the way in, no good off the underside of the rim. Rebound once again, Griffith. The senior to Brannon, who pulls up, knocks it down. Abby Brannon has the green light. 2 for 2 from downtown, it's 10-3. Liza Ruster drives at the left, out to Amaya. Mason trying to get someone free with some motion. Ruster back at the top. O'Berry picks up the screen, pulls up long 2, no good. Rebound Hornets. Here comes Brannon running the floor. Brannon takes it all the way in through the double team, misses. Rebound, Liza Ruster. 3.5 to go in the first. Amaya ignores the screen, wants 3, no good off the glass, and a foul underneath on Liza Ruster. It'll be her first, Mason's third. And Josie later will check back into the game, give Amaya a break. Sophia Gayton checking in for Dillingham for Williamston. 3.25 to go, 10-3 Hornets. Mason trying to press, nothing doing. Hornets break it, but that last pass is knocked away. Good defense from Ruster. Williamston broke that press very quickly. Ruster making the last-ditch play on the final pass to the basket. Baseline inbound, Griffith. All the way up to Gayton, now Brannon. Griffith defended by Lader. Fortin. Brannon, why not? Abby Brannon, 3 for 3. From outside the arc, she's got 9, and Mason wants a timeout with 2:50 to go in the first. We'll send it to a break, 13-3. You're watching MasonSN.com.
I'm Robert Dowding, associate broker and owner of the Robert Dowding Group at Keller Williams Realty. Originally from Eaton Rapids, my family and I now call Mason our home. On your next real estate transaction, put our over 30 years of experience and market knowledge to work for you. Call myself or Danielle French at the Robert Dowding Group today. We are your Mason Hometown Realtors.
Today I'm going to tell you about sportsmanship because it's important. Treat your opponents the way you would want to be treated. My mom says that. Listen to the referees. It's their job. Be nice to their team and our team. Cheer them on. Always play fair. It's the right thing to do. It's sportsmanship. It's not that hard.
Located in downtown Mason, Keen's Store Company is the store with just a little bit of everything. From fine clothing and quirky candies, Keen's is meant to feel comfortable, friendly, and down home. Open 7 days a week, Keen's is a perfect getaway when needing a little bit of me-time retail therapy. With great customer service and an unparalleled attention to detail, Keen's is where you need to be when you want to be you again. Well, this is not where Mason wants to be in the first quarter, trailing 13-3 to the Hornets at home. Mostly because Abby Brannon can't miss. 3 for 3 from beyond the arc. She's got 9, and that is the difference right now. Shattuck picks up the screen, and it's a moving screen on Josie later. On the offensive side of things, just some missed shots for Mason, quite frankly. Plenty of open looks. They have not been able to cash them. And the turnovers aren't helping. Brandon wants another. This time she misses. Offensive rebound, Fortin. They work into the corner. 3-ball, Gate, no. Rebound in the far corner picked up by Williamston. Down low, Fortin through the double team, lost the handle. Griffith tries to pick it up, but knocks it into the hands of Later. Mason has it, moving in transition now. Good bounce pass ahead to O'Barry, but she couldn't haul it in, and it rolls out. Williamston basketball. Mason scored a lot of fast break points against Eastern. They played a high press, forced a lot of turnovers. It's one of the reasons that Later had 22. Handsy defender. That time couldn't get the transition going. Williamston with it up by 10. Not afraid to throw the ball across the court. Fortin, Brannon being defended tightly by Ruster now out of the timeout. We got a whistle and a turnover. Substitution, Zoe Wendt will check in for Mason, replacing Liza Ruster. Bella Eaton into the game along with Lila Hershey for the Hornets. Ruster over the timeline, Josie Later. 1:35 to go in the first. Back to Ruster, being defended high by Griffith and loses her dribble, has to give it back up to Shattuck. Shattuck picks up the screen from Wendt. But once again, they have to work it out to the top. Williamson tight man-to-man, and it's working. O'Barry spins away from the defender, no good off the heel. Rebound Griffith. Griffith will stop and set up the half court. Brannon. Griffith defended by Later. Hershey all the way across. Fortin wants three, no good off the glass. Rebound Shattuck. Long cross-court pass into the corner. Long two for Later's no good. Rebound Fortin. Fortin can't get it out. Double team Zoe Wendt getting in there along with Grace O'Barry to force the jump ball. Zoe Wendt's a sophomore, 4 points against Eastern. I think Mason sees her as the big of the future. They finally get it in. Josie Later wide open in the corner, can't get it to go. Another open look goes begging for Mason. Hershey back to the top, Fortin. Brannon, about the only place on the floor you feel comfortable leaving her with space. 3 for 4 from downtown so far. Trying to drive in on Shattuck, but Shattuck is not giving her any room. To see how that opens up the rest of the offense, maybe for Williamston. Brannon tries to feed down low, knocked away. It's a good play by Ruster to get a hand on it. It'll be a baseline inbound for the Hornets. 3 seconds to go here in the first. Baseline inbound, Griffith. Hershey moving to her left. Pulls up from the free throw line, blocked by Later, and that's going to take us to the end of one. I'd like to thank our community sponsors for today's game, the Studio Shop in downtown Williamston, Ideal Mortgage Services, and the Robert Downing Group at Keller Williams Realty. The Studio Shop in downtown Williamston is where you'll find a creative boutique featuring hundreds of Michigan-themed gifts and offering many services, including screen printing, laser etching, photography, web development, and branding. From up north to downriver Main Street to Motown, you'll find something for everyone at the Studio Shop in Williamston. The Robert Downing Group at Keller Williams Realty spends a lot of time working in different communities, but the message is always the same. The housing market, it's hot, it's complicated, and complex. So what can you do? Work with a real estate professional who is patient, understanding, and dedicated to working with you, not through you. That real estate agent is Mid-Michigan's own Robert Dowding at Keller Williams Realty. If you're buying, selling, or unsure of what to do next, the Robert Dowding Group will take the time to help you achieve your next step. Find them on Facebook at the Robert Dowding Group or call them at 517-853-6390. That's 517-853-6390. 13-3 after one, Williamston in front. And honestly, aside from Abby Brandon just getting hot down the middle of the quarter there, hitting 3 straight threes, Mason's defense has been quite strong. But offensively, they've not been able to finish shots. And that's going to have to change here in the second quarter if they want to get back in this, trailing by 10. Inside to Hershey in the key, and there's that swarming Mason defense forcing another tie-up, and it's going to be Bulldogs basketball. It's been a few minutes since Williamston got a bucket, but the Bulldogs have been unable to take advantage on the offensive side. Only scored 23 the last time these two teams faced each other. Pass inside to Wendt, and she's fouled by Bella Eaton. Baseline inbound for Shattuck as Madison Bush checks back in, replacing Eaton. Shattuck finds Later, gonna drive, layup is no good again. Later only 1 for 4 from the floor. Hornets basketball, here they come. Griffith tries to drive through contact, kicks it out Brandon corner, no good off the front iron, rebound Hershey, puts it back and scores. One of the reasons the Hornets are as effective offensively as they are is because they get these offensive rebounds. We talked about how Jaden Griffith averages 8 boards a game. That hasn't bit the Bulldogs as much tonight, but they're gonna have to clean it up, especially if on offense they're not gonna get anything going. But of course, as you say it, Zoe Wendt finds Shattuck driving to the cup. She lays it in, first bucket of the second quarter for Mason, 15-5. That's what you need to see if you're the Bulldogs. Creating some space with screens and motion, creating easy shots. That's how you get your offense back into a rhythm. That's a good offensive set there for the Bulldogs. Brandon over to Hershey, knocked up in the air and taken away by Shattuck. Shattuck has to stop. That's great transition defense by the Hornets to slow her down, forcing him into a half court. Later tries to drive the baseline, feeds to Wendt, goes up, O'Berry misses off the heel. Rebound Hornets, and that's another good look for the Bulldogs. 6:05 to go in the second. Fed down low, and that's offline. Was looking for Fortin, was Abby Brandon. Couldn't find her. Michaela Shaver checking into the game. Gonna give Grace O'Berry a break. Fortin and Hershey are off for the Hornets. Anna Judith returning. Shattuck being defended by Brandon, picks up the screen, shoots off the glass, no good. Rebound Griffith. Griffith over the timeline, 15-5, 5:40 to go in the second. Under heavy pressure is Gayton, who just checked in. We got a whistle and a travel. Turnover, Madison Bush. And timeout called by the Bulldogs. We'll take a quick break and come right back. You're watching Mason High School basketball on MasonSN.com.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom.
On the diamond.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah!
Be great.
Participate!
Welcome back to Mason, 15-5 the score. Shattuck will inbound to Ruster. Mason 2 for 10 from the floor. Some of those were good looks. That's why they only have 5 points. Later. Back to Ruster. Trying to drive with it as Zoe went. Back to the basket. Gives it up the drive later. There's the bucket. Another good offensive set. That's a couple of those in this quarter for the Bulldogs. They use Zoe Went. They set her up back to the basket. They let her hand it off to later, set the natural screen, get her open at the rim for a layup. And come out of the timeout, that's what you want to see. We got a foul on Ruster. It's her second, Ava Ruster, the senior. First on Mason this quarter. 4:54 to go, second quarter. Judith inbounds. Mason's defense has been locked down in this second quarter. Only 2 points given up. Brannon into the corner, 3 ball, Griffith, no. Rebound Shattuck. Shattuck ahead to later in transition, feeds down low. Ruster is blocked but fouled. She's going to the free throw line. It's going to be the first on Griffith. Excuse me, they're going to give that one to Guyton. So first on the junior, and here comes Ava Ruster. Looking to enter the scorebook. Gets the first. Four points against Eastern for the senior. Second one is no good, but there's going to be a lane violation. They're going to give her another shot at it. Jaden Griffith got into the key a little early. Ruster doesn't pay it out, but rebound Shattuck. Shattuck to Ruster, cross court later, and a foul. That's going to be the second on Gayton. Third on Hornets this quarter. And Fortin will check in for Gayton. Shattuck will inbound from the baseline. In the corner, Went. Up to Ruster and around to Later. Later drives the baseline, kicks it out. Went, open, wants 3. No good off the heel. Offensive rebound, the putback no good. We got another whistle and a foul underneath. Good board by Michaela Shaver, couldn't put it back. And she commits the foul on the rebound. Kai Dillingham back into the game for the Hornets. 4:16 to go in the second, 15-8. Mason will try to get another stop. Fortin into the corner, 3 ball, Brannon, air ball, underneath, rebound, Dillingham goes up, is blocked. Offensive rebound. Brannon, Fortin wants 3, off the front rim, no good, put back no good, rebound, Zoe Went. And all of a sudden it's the Hornets who are cold from the floor, 0 for 4 that trip. Here comes Shaver. Back to Later, now Ruster. 3:38 to go in the second. Mason down 7. Shattuck, Shaver. Bounce pass, Went back to the basket. Turns, looking for help, back to Shaver. Shaver drives, goes up, blocked, and they're going to give the foul, I think, on Dillingham. Almost a clean block, but the referee saw something and decides to put Shaver on the free throw line. First one's in and out. No good on the second, but an offensive rebound again by Jocelyn Shattuck. The Bulldogs have another shot at it later. Pump fake, drive to the hole. Got it! Josie Lader making her own money. She's got 6, and it's a 5-point game. Griffith lost it. Shattuck throws it ahead. Ruster picks it up and scores! Jocelyn Shattuck leading Ava Ruster almost all the way to the baseline, but Ruster catches up to it and scores it off the glass. We got a 3-point game. We'll take a quick break and come right back.
We're there to serve, make sure we're creating a fair atmosphere for both teams, upholding the integrity of the game.
I chose to be an official. It's the best decision I've made.
In life, things aren't scripted. Games aren't pre-scripted. You know, I got into officiating because my father was an official. Officiating was part of our family life. It wasn't just the game.
Get to be outside, get to experience the game. It's so much more fun. You can get a lot out of it.
If you're an athlete, we need people like you and translate those skills to officiating.
It helped me become not only a better official, but a better person.
It happens in every town, in every game.
We never have a perfect game, but the rewards always outweigh the negativities.
And it's just been wonderful.
Michaela Shaver. Bulldogs again swarming to the basketball, putting a lot of on-ball pressure on the Hornets ball handlers. That time it's a foul, but the previous trip they turned it into a turnover, which they quickly turned into a bucket. Seven unanswered, ball knocked away on the inbound. Hornets pick it up, open look, Griffith knocks it down. The Hornets only their second field goal of the quarter, 18-12, 2.5 to go in the second. Shattuck. Later. O'Barry. Went tries to get position down low. Barry dribbles into the corner, they'll work it back around to Shattuck. Shattuck tries to drive, spins into the key, puts it up, gets it to go off the heel. Shattuck's got 4. It's a 4-point game, 2 minutes to go in the second. Griffith. Fortin. Dillingham wants 3. No. Dillingham gets her own rebound, knocked down to Fortin. They're going to work it back out to the top. Griffith. She's got 7, trying to make it 9. No. Offensive rebound, put back, no. Rebound went and a foul. It's going to be on Madison Bush, and that will put Went on the free throw line with 1:40 to go in the second quarter, 18-14. Went had 4 against Eastern. Was 0 for 1 from the stripe in that game. In and out. The rim unkind to Bulldogs free throw shooters in this second quarter. Bella Eaton comes back in. Second free throw. No. Rebound Dillingham. 1:35 to go in the second. Griffith being defended tight by O'Barry. Back to Dillingham. Pass inside, knocked up in the air. Picked off, coming the other way, Shattuck. Shattuck gives it up to Shaver. Not sure she intended to do that, but whatever. Shaver back to Shattuck in the corner. O'Barry open, 3, no. Rebound Went, back to O'Barry. Decides not to try again, gives it to Later. 1:10 to go in the corner, Shattuck. Picks up the screen, they're gonna work it back to O'Barry. Zoe went in the corner. Mason being patient offensively, trying to open something up. The drive, Shattuck, got it! Shattuck picks up the screen. She's getting hot in the second quarter. It's a 2-point ball game. Abby Brannon hit 3 for 3 in the first quarter, has not made a bucket. In the second, that pass picked off by Shaver. Shaver has Shattuck, threads the needle to Shattuck, but she can't finish it. Rebound and a foul, O'Berry. Michaela Shaver threw that ball to the only spot where a defender's hand wasn't. Shattuck couldn't find the equalizing bucket, and the foul will give the ball back to the Hornets. They're going to bring it over the timeline patiently. It looks like they're working for the last shot. 15 seconds in the first half, 18-16 Hornets. It has been a defensive slugfest in this first half. Mason coming all the way back from 10 down. Griffith, tightly defended, tries to drive, went, fouls her. 2.6 on the clock, and that'll put Jaden Griffith on the free throw line.
Jaden Griffith to the line for the Hornets.
First free throw gets the roll. Williamston going offense-defense as Lila Hershey checks in, along with Sophia Gayton, just to defend these last couple of seconds, 19-16. Second free throw is good from Griffith. Shaver, long inbound to Shattuck. Shattuck fires, and it's wide. And that'll do it for the first half. Mason gonna feel much better about that second quarter. They're still in this, 20-16. Cannonball Pools notes there's nothing better on a cold day than a hot pool. Get your winter season spa and indoor pool supplies replenished at their in-store location in Okemos on Grand River. If you're thinking ahead about closing down your pool, it's not too late to get the right help from the experts. Affordable, helpful, and friendly. Call Cannonball Pools, 517-256-4374 to work with the people who can help you get what you need. Learn more about their full support services by stopping in at their store or find them on Facebook by searching for Cannonball Pools. Are you looking to host the best birthday ever? Then look no further than Launch Trampoline Park. Located in the Meridian Mall in Okemos, Launch Trampoline Park offers a variety of no-stress, off-the-wall fun party packages to meet your party needs. All packages include jump time, private rooms, food and drink, party utensils, and your very own private party host. Have that party that'll keep people talking and create a lasting memory of a lifetime for your child. Book online. Their easy-to-use online reservation system is at launchlansing.com or call 517-381-7812. Launch Trampoline Park. They provide the food, the fun, and handle all the cleanup, while you get all the credit for hosting the best birthday ever. We're going to take a break and come back. 20-16, it's halftime on MasonSN.com.
As the voice of Michigan student athletes, the Student Advisory Council's role
is to convey the message of how high school sports are supposed to be played.
We are responsible for helping the MHSAA maintain a positive and healthy atmosphere
in which interscholastic athletes can thrive.
We believe athletes should be competitive,
sportsmanlike, and excel academically.
We believe students in the stand should have fun,
but not take focus away from the game.
We believe coaches should act as teachers,
helping student athletes develop while still keeping high school sports in perspective.
We believe that parents should always be positive role models
and be supportive of their child's decisions.
We believe officials commit their own time to high school sports.
And respect should always be shown and given to them.
The most important goal for student athletes is to enjoy high school sports
while keeping a high level of respect for all those involved in the game.
Enjoy the game.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom.
On the diamond. In the pool. On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great.
Participate.
An MHSAA staff member is headed to the Hall of Fame, and the very first WNBA draft featured one of Michigan's best. I'm John Ross, and this is This Week in High School Sports, powered by the Michigan Achievement Scholarship. District play for girls basketball opens on March 3rd, and never has the excitement around women's basketball been as high as it is now. Both Michigan State and Michigan have been ranked this season, and of course, Caitlin Clark and Angela Reese have taken the WNBA to new heights. Did you know the WNBA started in 1997, and the first player drafted in the very first WNBA draft, called the WNBA Elite Draft, was Dina Head, who played at Salem High School. Head led the Rocks to a Class A semifinal appearance in 1987 and was named Miss Basketball by the Basketball Coaches Association of Michigan that year. She averaged an impressive 27 points per game as a senior and is one of 33 girls in Michigan all time to score more than 2,000 points in her career. After high school, Head won 2 NCAA championships playing at Tennessee for legendary coach Pat Summitt and was the SEC Player of the Year as a senior. She won a gold medal at the World University Games and played professionally for 7 seasons before being drafted by the WNBA's Utah Stars. Head spent 3 years in the WNBA, reaching the postseason with the Phoenix Mercury in 2000. In 2016, Head was inducted into the Salem Wall of Champions. For more on Dina Head and to see our weekly Famous Faces feature that's part of our MHSAA 100 coverage, check us out online at MHSAA.com or follow us on social media. It's time for Game Balls, when we highlight a trio of standout performances from the past week. First, Sanford Meridian's Halen McLaughlin. She poured in a school record 38 points and a conference win over Beaverton. East Lansing junior KJ Torbert, he won over 1,000 career points in a double overtime victory over Okemos. And to Wyandotte Roosevelt goalie Evan Kelly, he had 47 saves and a 3-1 win over Gibraltar Carlson.
Graduating seniors could qualify for a tuition-free skill certificate or associate degree through the new Community College Guarantee, no matter their GPA or your household income. Or if your child plans to attend a 4-year university or career school, the Michigan Achievement Scholarship Program has them covered. They could get up to $27,500 toward a bachelor's degree or up to $4,000 for career training. Complete the FAFSA to get started at mi.gov/achievement.
Our weekly Be the Referee feature takes a look at the fine art of officiating with registered official Paige Winnie.
In basketball, if you are attempting to take a charge, do you have to be stationary? Can a defender draw a charge while sliding his or her feet? A defensive player does not need to be stationary in order to draw a charge. Once a defender has established legal guarding position, which is when the defensive player has both feet on the floor and is facing the opponent, the defender can move laterally or obliquely to maintain that position, even if it means having one or both feet off the floor when contact occurs with the offensive player. In a block or charge situation, many fans like to say it's a block because the defender was moving, but that's not always the case. A defender can draw a charge while in motion.
Thanks, Paige. Now more than ever, we need officials. If you're interested, please go to the MHSAA website now to register. One of the very best officials in the state is the MHSAA's Director of Officials, Sam Davis. And his contributions to the sport of wrestling have earned him a spot in the Michigan chapter of the National Wrestling Hall of Fame. Davis will be inducted in May at a ceremony in Ann Arbor. A high school wrestler at Lansing Eastern, Davis helped the Quakers to a Class A team title in 1968, and he won an individual championship as a senior in 1969. He won state judo championships in the early 80s and has officiated wrestling for 45 years. Davis was awarded the Vern Norris Award in 2015 for his vast contributions to officiating, and he joined the MHSAA staff 2 years later in 2017, where he now directs the officials department and the 9,000 registered officials in the state. Davis spent 32 years with the Lansing School District, teaching, coaching, and as an assistant principal, and he spent another 11 years with the Ingham County Sheriff's Office, retiring as a major. To read more about Sam, the longtime president of the Lansing Wrestling Officials Association, head to MHSAA.com. You've been listening to This Week in High School Sports, powered by the Michigan Achievement Scholarship, a production of the MHSAA Network. Thanks for joining us. I'm John Ross, and we'll be back next week.
We're there to serve, make sure we're creating a fair atmosphere for both teams, upholding the integrity of the game.
I chose to be an official. It's the best decision I've made.
In life, things aren't scripted. Games aren't pre-scripted. You know, I got into officiating because my father was an official. Officiating was part of our family life. It wasn't just the game.
Get to be outside, get to like experience the game. It's so much more fun. You can get a lot out of it.
If you're an athlete, we need people like you and translate those skills to officiating.
It helped me become not only a better official, but a better person.
It happens in every town, in every game.
We never have a perfect game, but the rewards always outweigh the negativities.
And it's just been wonderful.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Mason. Third quarter action about to get underway. We'll get you some stats from that first half, but first, Ideal Mortgage Services LLC wants you to know it's a seller's market right now. And as a buyer, it's very important to have a mortgage company that's available after hours, on the weekends, and beyond normal banking business hours. Many times offers are due by 8 p.m. on a Saturday, and who will help you then? Ideal Mortgage Services LLC will. Get approved when you need so you can get the best offer in and on time. To learn more, contact Ideal Mortgage Services LLC 517-339-5300 or go online at idealmortgage.org. Ideal Mortgage Services LLC is your home for the ideal mortgage. Mason opened up this game on a cold streak. They shot only 2 of their first 10 from the field, but they got it sorted out. 8 made field goals out of 21 attempts in that first half. They made 6 of their last 11. Josie Lader has 6, Jocelyn Shattuck has 7, Ava Ruster with 3. On the Williamston side, it was a complete opposite. In the first quarter, they shot so well by comparison. Abby Brannon made her first 3 attempts from downtown. She hasn't scored since. She's got 9 to lead the Hornets. Jaden Griffith has 8. Second half underway. Williamston moving left to right across your screen in this third quarter, wearing the black and green. Mason in the all white. Anna Judith finds Dillingham. Patient approach here by Williamston to start this third quarter. They were turning the ball over, conceding jump balls in that second quarter. So I imagine they want to try to do a little bit more what Mason was doing and try to open up shots underneath like that one. That's a good look for Brandon, but she missed. Contested underneath. We got a whistle and a jump ball. It's going to be Mason basketball. Good job by Griffith to jump back on that offensive rebound and at least force the tie up. 7:18 to go in the third. Ruster, Lader, Shattuck, O'Berry, and Amaya starting the third quarter for the Bulldogs. O'Berry to Lader, picks up the screen. Ruster, O'Berry at the top, tries to drive through the key, goes up, some contact, and she's going to the free throw line. That'll be the second one on Madison Bush. 6:57 to go in the third. First free throw is good for O'Berry. Senior in the scorebook for the first time tonight. Makes them both. Got to cash in from the free throw line when you can, and O'Berry makes them both. 20-18 the score. Judith. Griffith. Brannon being tightly defended by Amaya. Bulldogs taking no chances, leaving her open on the perimeter. Griffith into the corner. Judith being defended by O'Barry. Going to work it back out to the top. They'll switch it off to later. Now O'Barry defending Griffith. Back up to Dillingham. Haven't gotten it inside the perimeter yet. Being very patient. Judith. Over to Bush. Inside Griffith. Griffith's pass back out is offline. Miscommunication between her and Bush. As soon as the ball got into the elbow, the Bulldogs collapsed 2 defenders, 1 on each hip on Jaden Griffith. Did not give her an opportunity to turn and go to the basket. She tries to play it out and they force the turnover. Chance to tie or take the lead for the Bulldogs on this possession. Josie Later. Long pass in, tough pass into Ruster. She's blocked at the rim. Griffith denies her. And the Hornets stay in front. Under 6 to go, third quarter. Judith. Outside to Bush. Dillingham showing up in the corner there. They're going to swing it back out to the top to Brannon. Brannon defended closely by Amaya. Now Bush. 5.5 to go, third quarter. Bush passes knocked away, and O'Barry has it on the ground, tries to roll it down the floor. It's picked up by Later, who flips it onto Ruster. Amaya for the lead. No. Rebound out of bounds. O'Barry made a really nice play on that. Finding a way to get it in to Josie Later, who then finds a way to get it into Ava Ruster. Not exactly how it was drawn up, but another takeaway for the Bulldogs, but they can't cash in, and they still trail by 2, 5 minutes to go in the third. In a game like this, the number of possessions you have is limited. Got to make sure you cash in when you can. Dillingham for 3, got it. Kai Dillingham, her first bucket of the game, 0 for 2 in the first half, but that's a big bucket, pushes the lead to 5. If you're the Bulldogs, temptation is to try to immediately respond to the 3 of your own, but got to be smart. It's a long game. O'Barry at the free throw line, outside Amaya. Drives the baseline, and she's fouled. It's going to be the second on Dillingham. Fortin and Hershey checking in for the Hornets. They were end-of-half defensive subs for the Hornets, we saw. Trying to take a more defensive posture here. The drive with the left by Ruster, going to the cup, layup, it's good! Ruster gets the bounce, and the seniors got 5. It's a 3-point game. Fortin being defended by Amaya all the way out at the logo. Griffith. Being matched up with Ruster. Hands it off to Brannon. Ruster switches off onto Brannon. Mason defending that perimeter. Fortin thinking about it. Long cross-court pass to Griffith underneath. Shot no good. Gets her own rebound. Puts it back. Missed the first one through contact. On the drive, O'Barry is blocked, and she'll go to the free throw line. It's going to be the third on Madison Bush. In comes Bella Eaton, and that might make the interior game interesting here in this third quarter if Madison Bush takes an extended break. First free throw for O'Barry is good, 3 for 3 from the stripe so far. So we'll see how Bella Eaton plays down in the post as she draws the O'Barry matchup. Makes them both. Grace O'Barry, 4 for 4, all in the third. Keeping this game close, 3.5 to go in the third quarter. Fortin. Hershey back to Fortin. They're going to swing it around to Griffith. Long cross court. Williamston really trying to open up this Mason zone. Trying to drive is Griffith, has a little opening, gets it to go. Jaden Griffith saw a little crack in the zone, took it to the spot and scored in transition. O'Barry goes right to the rim, no good. Rebound is tipped out. It'll be Mason ball. Under 3 to go, down by 5 in the third. Ruster over to Later. Jaden Griffith starting to get warm here in the third quarter for Williamston on offense. Amaya looking for support, gives it back to Ruster. Ruster gets it poked away from her. O'Barry will watch it roll out. And Mason will run a set, and Zoe Went will check in. Went going to replace Amaya, and that might be a response to Madison Bush checking out. And you see immediately it's going to be Bella Eaton on Zoe Went. Mason may think they have something there. Went gives to O'Barry in the corner. Later, Shattuck working all the way around the perimeter to Ruster. Later, Went backing down at the free throw line, sets the screen. O'Barry in the corner. All the way across, Shattuck wants all three. No good off the rim. Zoe Went tries to tip out the rebound. We got a foul. I believe that's going to be on Ruster, and that will be her third. On offense, they're using Zoe Went as kind of a pivot option. She moves around the key with the ball back to the basket, just trying to create something and allow the offense to move off of her. Kind of a different look than you get than maybe when you have somebody else in there at that position in this Mason offense. Under 2 to go in the third, 27-22. Hershey. All the way across, Brannon, 3, no. Rebound knocked up in the air, Shattuck. Transition opportunity maybe. Shattuck takes it all the way in, goes up off the glass, no good. Rebound is picked up by Brannon. Pass down low is picked off by O'Barry. Here comes Mason. Hershey in her hip pocket and fouls her. And that's going to be the 5th, and that's going to send O'Barry back to the free throw line, first on Hershey. Dillingham and Gayton checking back in. Going to replace Hershey and Eaton. Excuse me, that was only the 4th foul on Williamston, so no free throws. It'll be a baseline inbound. Next foul would be more free throws for Mason. Down by 5. Inbound into the corner, O'Barry tries to drive, working on Gayton. She's knocked down and lost the ball. She wanted to draw the foul. The referee said no. 1:20 to go in the third. Williamston basketball after the turnover. Williamston a chance to open this up a little bit on this possession. Fortin. Griffith back to the top. Fed down low. Wide open look for Gayton. Can't get it to go. Rebound Later on the floor. And a travel. Later had the ball and rolled with it. So a turnover on Mason. And timeout's going to be called by Mason. Are you trying to find a place to get your custom trim meats, special orders, and the best seafood in town? Mertz Specialty Meats in Okemos invites you to come see what they have to offer. They have steaks, chops, burgers, and brats, and with hard-to-find selections and unmatched customer service, Mertz is ready to serve you. Open 7 days a week just east of the Meridian Mall on Grand River. Here are 5 good reasons for high school multi-sport participation: fewer overuse injuries, less opportunity for emotional burnout, exposure to different kids and coaches, exposure to different roles, and learning to compete better. Being a multi-sport participant can help a kid become a more well-rounded person. Multi-sport participation is cross-training for life. Learn more at the MHSAA website. 1:01 to go, third quarter. Mason hanging in tight. This third quarter in particular has been a defensive slog. On the inbound, we have a whistle and a foul. It's an offensive foul on Brannon. Fifth team foul on the Hornets, offensive foul, so the Bulldogs won't shoot, but they will get the ball back with a minute to go in the third. Shattuck. Open look maybe, passes it up for Later. Later feeds down low and tried to pass through a double team. It's knocked away by Dillingham. Just didn't see Dillingham collapsing on the passing lane. Dillingham thinking about it on the other end. Passes it up to Gayton. Back up top to Fortin, 35 seconds. Williamston might choose to be patient here. Again, no shot clock in high school basketball, so Williamston has the option to just take this all the way down if they want. And the way they're acting, it looks like they might. Gayton, 20 seconds. Still in no hurry. Later comes out to defend. They're going to try to move the offense now, 10 seconds. Fortin drives past Shattuck, goes up, got it. Tough bucket, 3 seconds. Mason, maybe one shot for Ruster at the horn, doesn't get it off in time. And the Hornets have opened up the lead a bit here in the third quarter, 29-22. We're going to take a quick break and come back. You're watching Mason women's basketball on MasonSN.com.
We're there to serve, make sure we're creating a fair atmosphere for both teams, upholding the integrity of the game.
I chose to be an official. It's the best decision I've made.
In life, things aren't scripted. Games aren't pre-scripted. You know, I got into officiating because my father was an official.
Read this coming back.
Officiating was part of our family life. It wasn't just the game.
Get to be outside, get to like experience the game. It's so much more fun. You can get a lot out of it.
If you're an athlete, we need people like you and translate those skills to officiating.
To help me become not only a better official, but a better person.
It happens in every town, in every game.
We never have a perfect
I'll read
game,
Mason Dental first.
but the rewards always outweigh the negativities.
And it's just been wonderful.
At Mason Family Dentistry, their goal is to provide optimal, comprehensive dental care while making your treatment as comfortable as possible. With a belief in long-term relationships built on clear communication, they strive to achieve healthy smiles through quality restorative and cosmetic services. Mason Family Dentistry, committed to serving you and helping make your dental experience more enjoyable. They welcome any special requests or questions that would allow your visit to be more comfortable. Visit them online, masonfamilydentistry.com, masonfamilydentistry.com, or call them 517-676-3770. Mason opens the fourth quarter with a takeaway. Here they come, Ava Ruster. Ruster got a defender on her right side, takes it all the way in and lost the handle out for a turnover. Ruster felt the pressure from Griffith on her right side. Tried to slow it down at the baseline, but couldn't corral the basketball. Back in Williamston's possession, 29-22. You might be able to count the number of possessions you have left in this game on one hand. If you're Mason, got to make every one of them count. Williamston in no hurry on the offensive end. Mason might just have to be more aggressive at the perimeter, try to force turnovers. That blocked by Went out of bounds. They tried the pass into Gayton. Gayton created some space by making that move into the paint, but Went was trailing the run very well, saw her go up and swatted it away. Williamston will inbound at the baseline. Out to Brannon. Dillingham thinking about it. You see Scott Shattuck encouraging his team to step out and play more defensively at the perimeter. Ava Ruster going to commit the foul on the interior pass to Griffith. That's going to be her fourth. And if you're Mason with 6:46 to go down 7, I don't know if you can afford to sub her out. Madison Bush checks back in, replacing Gayton. So she's going to have to play carefully here. They still need her defensively, and she's got the Jaden Griffith matchup. All the way out to Brannon. Brandon directing traffic. Zoe went out to defend her at the perimeter. Back out to Griffith. Griffith down into the corner. They're going to work it all the way back out to Brannon. Shaver getting ready to check in for the Bulldogs. Under 6.5 to go, 7-point game. Brannon is fouled by Goberry. That's her third, but if you're the Bulldogs, you kind of don't have a choice at this point. Williamston's just going to try to run full minutes off the clock with every possession at this point. If you want to make a case for a shot clock in high school basketball, here's Exhibit A. Brandon will inbound from the baseline. And that's a foul on Ruster. Off the ball, Ava Ruster just fouled out. Ruster making contact with Griffith as Griffith tried to peel off the screen, knocked her down. That's foul number 5. And Ruster pretty upset as Liza Ruster checks in to replace her. Shaver out there as well now for Mason. Inbound to the top, Griffith. Now let's see what Liza can do defending Griffith. Griffith tries to drive, bounces it off of Shattuck. Loose ball picked up by Brannon. 6:10 to go in the fourth. Dillingham. Fortin. Being defended by Later. Brannon being defended by Shattuck. Griffith trying to get position low post against Ruster, and that ball's offline and a jump ball. It will be Mason basketball. Trying to force that into Griffith a little bit. They see the Griffith versus Liza Ruster matchup, Williamston does, and they want to try to take advantage of it. They think that's one they can win, but tried to force it too much there. This is a tough assignment for Liza Ruster, but if she can lock in and keep Griffith in check, Mason's still got a shot in this one. Back out to Later. Later tries to drive, goes to the rim, no good, and a rebound Brannon. And if you're Mason, obviously you've got to know that there's not a ton of time left, but you also need to take advantage of open looks as Griffith drives in right on Ruster and scores to make it a 9-point game. O'Barry. Later. Shattuck looks for an open 3. Got it! That's a big bucket. Bulldogs needed it. 6-point game. Yeah, you still got to be patient even with limited time on offense if you're the Bulldogs. You need to take good shots. You haven't been able to win offensive rebounds consistently tonight. Every shot's got to be a good look, even if it takes a moment to find one. Into Griffith. Griffith falling to the floor, throws it out to Fortin. Fortin drives through contact, no. Knocked up in the air, back to Bush. 3-ball Brannon, no. Rebound, picked up by Bush and a foul. No, excuse me, timeout. Timeout called by the Hornets with 4:35 to go. On the road and in a hurry, but don't want the hassle or guilt of fast food? Instead of the drive-thru, get good food fast at Fabiano's Grocery and Deli at the corner of Wacusta and Grand River Roads. Stop in for their pizza slices made with fresh dough and sauce every single day. It's a great place to stop in, even for breakfast, as they have an amazing breakfast pizza with cheese, eggs, and bacon. For a couple dollars in a couple of minutes, get yourself the handmade meal you deserve at Fabiano's Grocery and Deli, Grand River and Wacusta in Grand Ledge. Located in downtown Mason, Keen's Store Company is the store with just a little bit of everything. From fine clothing and quirky candies, Keen's is meant to feel comfortable, friendly, and down home. Open 7 days a week, Keen's is a perfect getaway when needing a little bit of me-time retail therapy. With great customer service and an unparalleled attention to detail, Keen's is where you need to be when you want to be you again. 4:35 to go, back to a 6-point game. Ava Ruster has fouled out of this game, so Liza Ruster has drawn the matchup with Jaden Griffith for these final 4.5 minutes. Gonna inbound to Griffith. Ruster's right there to defend her. Griffith tries to turn on Ruster, and they're gonna get Ruster for the foul. But honestly, not the worst outcome. You have to be willing to be aggressive if you're Ruster, it looks like they're going to bring in Ciela Amaya to try to defend Griffith instead. Ruster going to take a break. This is a tough matchup. It might have to be a platoon down these last 4.5 minutes. Bounce pass into Bush. Out to Brannon, who's been ice cold from outside in the second half. Pass down low, knocked away by Later, out of bounds, and it will be Mason basketball. Josie Later making a good play underneath. Last touch by Williamston. And now Mason wants time with 4:21 to go. We're going to take a quick break and come right back. You're watching Mason Women's Basketball on MasonSN.com.
I'm Robert Dowding, associate broker and owner of the Robert Dowding Group at Keller Williams Realty. Originally from Eaton Rapids, my family and I now call Mason our home. On your next real estate transaction, put our over 30 years of experience and market knowledge to work for you. Call myself or Danielle French at the Robert Dowding Group today. We are your Mason Hometown Realtors.
Today I'm going to tell you about sportsmanship because it's important. Treat your opponents the way you would want to be treated. My mom says that. Listen to the referees. It's their job. Be nice to their team and our team. Cheer them on. Always play fair. It's the right thing to do. It's sportsmanship. It's not that hard.
The MHSAA is celebrating a century of sports. Help the MHSAA celebrate 100 years by visiting them online. See exclusive content about the people, places, and things that make school sports so special. Rivalries, records, and remembering some of the state's top players. Relive it all at MHSAA.com. And thank you to everyone who's been a part of a century of sports. All right, Bulldogs basketball, 31-25 the score. 4:21 to go in this fourth quarter in a game that a lot of people did not have the Bulldogs in coming into this one. Pretty heavy underdogs, but they've locked in defensively, kept Williamston's best players in check for the most part. And now here they are, down by 6, with the basketball and an opportunity to still pull off this upset. Shaver's got to get the ball out of her own floor. Long pass ahead to Later. It's a great pass. Later, the bucket. Michaela Shaver dribbles out of pressure and delivers the long pass into the paint. Williamston gives them a completely different look with the full court press. Mason does not succumb. It's a 4-point game and a turnover. Amaya takes the steal away and Griffith fouls her. It's a good foul by Jaden Griffiths because Amaya was off and away. It is only the first foul on Williamston, but it's Mason basketball. 3:50 to go. Amaya inbound, knocked away by Fortin, out of bounds. They'll try again. Inbound to Later. Shattuck, hands off to Later. Cross court, it's knocked away in the key and taken away by the Hornets. An aggressive pass, 3.5 to go, 4-point game. Still got Amaya defending Griffith. Shattuck defending Brannon. Bush being defended by Shaver. Pass inside, Gayton shoots, no. Open look, couldn't get it to go, rebound Later. Ahead to Shattuck. Shattuck trying to drive on Brannon, turns, feeds it back out. Swings into the corner, Shaver. Out to Shattuck. And they're gonna reset it. 3 minutes to go. Good patience from the Bulldogs. Looking for an open shot. Amaya. Shaver, top of the key. Hands off O'Barry. Open look, thought about it. Decides to give to Shattuck instead. If you're not confident, don't take it. Later over to Shaver. Back up to Shattuck. Good movement from Mason on offense here. Amaya tries to drive. Back out top, Shaver, open look. Yes! Michaela Shaver from downtown. It's a 1-point ball game. And there's that patience. Mason working for the good open look. Get it to a confident shooter. Shaver knocks it down, and we got ourselves a ball game. Timeout Williamston, 2:15 to go. We're going to be right back.
I'm Robert Dowding, associate broker and owner of the Robert Dowding Group at Keller Williams Realty. Originally from Eaton Rapids, my family and I now call Mason our home. On your next real estate transaction, put our over 30 years of experience and market knowledge to work for you. Call myself or Danielle French at the Robert Dowding Group today. We are your Mason hometown realtors.
Today I'm going to tell you about sportsmanship because it's important. Treat your opponents the way you would want to be treated. My mom says that. Listen to the referees. It's their job. Be nice to their team and our team. Cheer them on. Always play fair. It's the right thing to do. It's sportsmanship. It's not that hard.
All right, 2:15 to go. Williamston 31, Mason 30. Mason trying to pull off the CAAC Red upset at home. They lost 47-23 to this team back in December, but they are taking the fight to the Hornets. Pass in to Griffith, and she is fouled hard by Amaya, but probably a smart foul. Griffith got the better of her with that nice turn in down the key. And Amaya just doesn't want her to get the shot up and instead will force her to shoot from the free throw line. 2 for 2 from the stripe tonight is Griffith. First free throw from Griffith. Got it. Griffith has 16. She leads all scorers. It's had a strong second half for the Hornets. Trying to make it a 3-point game. Gets it to go. 33-30, 2:10 to go, Mason ball. You can tie it with a triple on this possession. The more important thing is to work for a good shot. Later picks up the screen. Back to O'Berry. Being patient. Into the key, nice move to get free under the hoop and scores! She's got 6 points, her first field goal, 1:45 to go, 1-point game. Mason defending all the way up in the front court. Trying to spin away is Brannon. Trying to drive on Amaya, goes to the hoop, gets it to go, but they're waving off the bucket, it's a travel. That's a big call and it benefits the Bulldogs. 1:28 to go. They can take the lead on this possession. Shattuck over the timeline. Man-to-man from Williamston again. Shattuck picks up the screen. Back to Amaya. Thought about it. Bounce pass to Shaver. Need one more good shot if you're Mason. Later goes away from the screen. Gives to Shattuck. 1:05 to go. O'Berry picks up the screen. Wants three. No. Rebound Fortin. Don't need a foul yet, it's a 1-point game. A foul would put the Hornets on the free throw line. Brannon trying to drive. Brings it all the way back out to the top. Griffith, 40 seconds, being defended by Amaya. Amaya gonna try to keep close to her, and a timeout called by the Hornets. No? They got a foul on Amaya, excuse me. Not a lot of contact, but they will give him the foul, which might not be the worst outcome here as Griffith has to go to the free throw line. 33.8 on the clock. Misses the first. That's her first miss from the stripe tonight. She's got 17 points. No good on the second. Mason rebound, 30 seconds. O'Barry over the timeline. O'Barry gonna take it in and then back it out to Shaver. Timeout, Mason. Here you go, you're working for a last shot. 27 seconds to go, ball game on the line. The broadcast of today's game is a copyrighted presentation of the Michigan High School Athletic Association and the Lansing Herald Media Group. No reproduction, retransmission, or other distribution of the descriptions or accounts of this game may take place without the express written consent of the MHSAA and the Lansing Herald Media Group. Once again, I want to thank our amazing sponsors tonight for making this possible. Our community sponsors tonight, the Studio Shop, Ideal Mortgage Services, and Robert Dowden Group Keller Williams Realty. Also want to thank Cannonball Pools, Launch Trampoline Park, Mertz Specialty Meats, Fabiano's Grocery and Deli, Keen's of Mason, and Mason Family Dentistry. You're the ones who make this possible. Thank you so much for your support this season of Mason Sports Network. So here you go. How are your nerves? If you're Mason, this is what you've wanted. This was your scenario. You've kept it close, you've played great defense, and now you've got a chance with the basketball in your hands, the game in your hands. What's your play? Scott Shattuck? What's your best play? Jocelyn Shattuck, Sayala Amaya, Grace O'Barry, Michaela Shaver, Josie Lader. There's your 5 for the Bulldogs, 27 seconds. Shattuck, long inbound out to O'Barry. Shattuck, Amaya, picks up the screen, back to Shaver, Shattuck. Shaver again, over to Lader, driving in with the left, spinning, goes up and she's fouled. No, she traveled. Took one too many steps trying to get up to the basket, and 13 seconds to go. Mason will almost certainly foul right away. If you can't get the steal, you need a foul, and a timeout's called by Williamston. Hornets will take a full timeout. So here's your situation if you're Mason. 13 seconds to go. Williamston's in the bonus. You can go for the steal, but there's a time. If you're Scott Shattuck, you're telling your team right now, they're at this point, stop going for the steal and get the foul, because at some point we just need to get the ball back. We're only down by 1. So even if they make them both, we have a shot to tie with the final shot of the game. Coach is having the conversation right now. And if you're Williamston, you're trying to get the ball in, preferably probably to Jaden Griffith. She did miss her last 2 from the stripe, but she is a good free throw shooter, 4 for 6 on the night, and she leads everybody with 17 points. So you're drawing something up to get the ball into someone you are confident in at the stripe, probably Griffith. 13.2 on the clock, here it comes. Baseline inbound, they're gonna get it into Fortin, and they're gonna let Fortin shoot the 2. And again, that's a decision you made if you're Williamston. You wanted to get this ball into someone you trusted, and Fortin was the choice. It's gonna be the second on Josie Lader. 2 shots upcoming for the senior. 12.2 on the clock. First one is good. Nothing but net for Fortin. Pete Kuhl, head coach for Williamston, giving some defensive instructions to the Hornets. Second free throw, no. Rebound knocked up in the air and claimed by Brannon, and a timeout called by the Hornets. Abby Brannon The sophomore comes up with a huge board. We'll take a quick break and come right back.
I'm Robert Dowding, associate broker and owner of the Robert Dowding Group at Keller Williams Realty. Originally from Eaton Rapids, my family and I now call Mason our home. On your next real estate transaction, put our over 30 years of experience and market knowledge to work for you. Call myself or Danielle French at the Robert Dowding Group today. We are your Mason hometown realtors.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom.
On the diamond.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah!
Be great.
Participate!
Mason ended a 5-game losing streak when they beat Eastern last week. In 4 of those 5 games, they lost by 5 or less. Trying to buck that trend tonight against the Williamston Hornets. But they need a turnover or something here. 34-32. They're going to try to foul again. Inbounds. Dribbling away is Bush. All the way back out to the top, and Bush is fouled. 7.3 to go, and Madison Bush, junior who has not scored tonight, is going to the free throw line. If you're the Bulldogs, the plan is simple. Hopefully she goes 1 for 2, and then you go the length of the floor. Referees indicated that there are no timeouts left for either team. Bush misses the first. Overtime still in play here for the Bulldogs. Got him. 3-point game, here you go. Inbound to later. Shattuck, 5 seconds. 4 seconds, passes knocked away and out of bounds. 2 seconds to go, you're gonna have an inbound. It's basically catch and shoot. Mason will need to beat the buzzer to send this to overtime. Shattuck will inbound. Gets it into Amaya from the logo. No! Valiant, but just 1 bucket short. We had a great one tonight in Mason. The Bulldogs coming up 3 points short of forcing overtime, 35-32. Williamston wins in a defensive struggle. Bulldogs have definitely shown a lot of growth since December, but man, they would have wanted this one. That's it for all of us. Thank you once again to our wonderful sponsors. Thank you to Glenn Dudasek on the ones and twos. I'm Colton Wesley. We'll be back soon with more basketball on MasonSN.com. Once again, your final score, Williamston 35, Mason 32. You've been watching Mason women's basketball on MasonSN.com.